All right, welcome back to this piano lesson. In today's lesson, we are learning or reviewing slash chords. What are they and how do we play them? So first of all, let's identify what a slash chord is. Have you ever seen a chord like this? It'll either say C slash E, it might say D slash F sharp, it could say G slash B, another one could be C sharp minor slash E. It could be any combination of slash chord, but it is a chord where the root is not the name of the chord. So if we play a C chord, C, E, G, we would normally play a C chord in our left hand. But what a slash chord does is the chord stays the same, but the bass changes. So it would either play E with the C in the right hand, C chord, or it could play a G while the right hand's playing a C, or we could be playing F, right? There's our root position, but instead of left hand playing this F, we can play an A, right? The third of the chord, or we can play C, the fifth of the chord, and those are slash chords. Another type of slash chords that we might see is where the left hand is not playing one of the notes of the chord. And in actuality, it is a note of the chord, but if we're keeping it simple, we can just think of it as a totally different note, unrelated. So this could look something like this. We can play a C in the right hand, and instead of playing either C, E, or G, we would play B flat. And we get a sound like that. Or we could play C with a D in the left hand. And D is not a part of the three notes of C, so we can call this one of those special cases. In reality, it's really the 9, but for us, that's still a slash chord. Or it could be E with F sharp in the bass. F sharp is not one of the tones of our E major chord, so that's a slash chord. So when it comes to these slash chords, the way I play them, if I'm playing root position, I always like to play octave with the fifth if I want to sound full. So if I'm playing a C chord, I would do something like this. But if I need to play a C slash E, I'm gonna do this. I will do octaves in the left hand, and then I'll go to an F chord, let's say. And when I get back to that octave or that root position, I can add in the fifth. Adding the fifth with slash chords gets a little more involved because you can't just play any old fifth on the left hand, because then you're going to be playing B, and B is not a part of C, E, G. So what we have to play if we're going to add in some kind of fifth is actually going to be the sixth. So you can add in the C here. Another example of that would be if I'm playing F and I want to play an F slash A, so F chord slash A bass, I would do F slash A, and if I want to add in one more note to thicken it up and make it a little heavier, I add F. I wouldn't add E because E is not a part of F, A, C. So that's kind of the rule when it comes to slash chords. So for example, let's say we get a little chord progression that does this. We have a C chord, an E minor with a B, a C chord with a B flat, F chord with an A, F minor with A flat, C with a G, D with F sharp. Sorry, I played a D7 there. I'm just going to play a regular D. And then back to a G. So these are a lot of slash chords in this progression. So again, we have a C. Now I'm going to play them 4 times. E minor slash B. C slash B flat. F slash A. F minor slash A flat. Ooh, that sounded good. C slash G. D slash F sharp, and then a G. For this G, I could actually add a, we're going to call it an F slash G, and then end with the G, kind of make it like a sus chord. So from the beginning we have a C chord. 1, 2, 3, E minor slash B, C slash B flat, F slash A, F minor slash A flat, C slash G, D slash F sharp, and then I'm gonna add this F slash G, and again. I'm just messing around with some kind of rhythm. In this case, I kind of did a little mistake. I added the fifth of this F minor slash A flat. But in this case, this E flat actually works. But for the sake of consistency, let's get it out. And then back to C slash G, and then D slash F sharp. Add that D. So another rule I have, for example, if I'm just going to give this other example. If we have a C chord, right, octave with the fifth, and the right hand's just playing a C, that's a nice strong C chord. But if the chord that you're playing doesn't have any of the tones of the left hand or the bass, then I'm gonna say the fifth for the most part will usually work. So for example, we have a C chord, but the left hand is asking you to play a D. In this case, where the D is not related to any of the three notes, you can add its fifth. So I'd be able to do D, A, D, and then C on the right hand. And this just starts adding some color to our chord. For example, if I had an E chord, but my left hand is C sharp, since C sharp is not one of the three notes, I will be able to add the fifth. And it works. Again, it works 80-90% of the time. Let's say we have a B flat chord, and the left hand is an A flat. Well, A flat is not in our three notes, any of the three tones of our B flat. So I will be able to add the fifth of A flat, which is E flat. So let's say for context, I'm going to play B flat with a fifth. But then I'm going to play A flat in the left hand now. And the E flat doesn't sound too jarring, right? That's the rule. If the left hand is playing any of the chord tones, you can not add the fifth. But if the left hand is not any of the three, you can add a fifth. And it just adds to the intensity that you're building there. So I'm just going to play the exercise a couple times through for the end, and hopefully this explains slash chords. One more thing I forgot to mention. For piano, they have to break it up into right hand plays the chord, left hand plays the bass. In a band setting, the guitarist would usually play the chord, and the bass player would actually play that bass note. So that is probably one of the cases where both bass and guitar will be doing different chords, different notes. So guitarist will be playing a C, left hand plays a B, a C, but the guitarist will play E minor, and the bass player will play B, one of the tones of the chord. Guitarist will go to C, bass will go to B flat, right? Guitarist will play F, bass will play A, guitarist will play F minor, bass player will play A flat, and then guitarist will play C, bass will play G, guitar plays D, bass plays F sharp, and then guitar plays F, bass plays G, guitarist switches to G, and bass hits that G again. So a little disclaimer. 1, 2, 3, 4, and